Right. You all can see my screen, right? So today we'll start rules, okay? Still, I need some time for that intercompany. First, we'll complete the rules and then we'll go to the intercompany again, okay? Right. Rules. So, anybody in the class having any programming knowledge? Any programming, whether it is VB or C or C++ or Java or anything. Anyone who has knowledge on programming. Right. So in HFM we use Visual Basic VB, right? So before starting the class, we need to know basics about programming. Okay. See, let me open the notes. Right. Programming. Where is it? Right. So basics of programming. First of all, what is programming? Set of instructions is called programming. Okay, why do we use programming? It is used to automate the tasks. Okay, it is used to automate the tasks. So, for example, what is the example for programming? You can take Excel as a Excel macro as a programming. It's on VB, Visual Basic. Okay, we have to write algorithm or flowchart. Means for every program, right? First we'll have the logic, nothing but it is nothing but the logic, right? We'll put it either in a flowchart or in an algorithm. So every program will start with sub and end with end sub. For example, I'm opening an Excel, right? See, after this class, right, you won't become experts in programming, but when you see the HFM rules or HFM rules, right, without fear, you can read the rules and you can try to understand the rules, okay? That will be the outcome of this class, okay? So you cannot expect that you will become the expert in rules in just 2 days, okay? It will take at least 6 months for you to become experts. So right, see, I am writing a small program here, see. So it started with sub and end sub, right? Sub and end sub. Every program will start with sub and end with end sub. So here you can see this XXX is the name of the program, right? You can put anything in Excel, you can give any name, but in HFM, right, the name of the program is fixed. You cannot put your own name. You have to put either sub consolidate, sub calculate, sub input, sub no input, etc. The name of the program is fixed. Clear? So first point, everybody understood? Every program will start with sub and end with end sub. The name of the program will be, right, this whatever you say before open bracket and close bracket, right? This is nothing but routine. So this is the name of the program. In HFM, the name of the program is fixed. Clear, everyone? Right. Second, we have to declare the variables. What do you mean by variables? Variable means which varies and which will hold temporary values. So you cannot write program for 1,000 lines, 2,000 lines, like that, right? For example, you want to know who is the faculty in the class, right? You cannot take 22 lines. You cannot write 22 lines. So you put a condition. Say, for example, whatever the faculty chair, whoever sits on the chair, he will be faculty. Likewise, you have to write a program by running a loop. So you need variables. So variables means which varies and which will hold temporary values, right? So we declare variables by dim, dim x, dim y, dim z, etc. What happens if I don't put variable? Some programs will take it and some programs will not take it. See, for example, here we'll write a small thing. See, x is equal to 10, y is equal to 15, z is equal to x plus y. Done. See, if I run this program, what happens if I run this program? You will see 25. 10 plus 15 is equal to 25. So here I did not declare the variables x, y, z. So in Excel, there is a concept called, see, now if I run the program, it will throw an error message. See, run. What is the error message it thrown? Variable not defined. So you have to declare the variables, otherwise you cannot run the program. So how do I declare the variables? Dim dim x, dim dim y, it will be in blue color. See, dim z, that's it. Now when you run the program again, it will work. See, 25. So this is called variable. Everybody understood the what do you mean by variables, right? Variables means which varies and which will hold temporary values. So here z is z is having the value of 25. So if I change this to 15, now the z value will be changing. See, clear? 30. So this is called variable. Okay. Next, we have to use functions. What do you mean by functions? There are many Excel functions, right? All the formulas, sum, average, etc., etc. When you open the Excel, this is called function. See, insert function. When you click on this, all these are formulas or functions. See, average, if, etc., etc., count, sum, if, etc. All when you click on all functions, you will see all the functions. There are many functions in Excel. Likewise, there will be some functions in HFM also. You have to use both HFM functions as well as VB functions also. So what are the HFM functions? HS dot entity dot UD1. We discussed this, right? We discussed this, yes or no? So likewise, VB functions also, left, sum, bound, etc., etc. Left or some L bound, U bound, etc., etc. Right? So first we'll open the admin guide. Come here, go to HFM part 2, admin guide. So here when you expand the rules function, see, All these are functions: UD1, LLC, member, clear, con, etc. Out of these functions, right, there will be around 200 functions will be there. Out of 200 functions, we'll use some 15 to 20 now. In these two classes, right, we'll use some of the functions. Remaining, even though you don't need these functions, right, first you have to at least read that and understand that one, so that in future, whenever a need arises, right, you can refer to the particular function. For example, account type, right? Yes, when you click on this one, it is saying hs dot account type is equal to xx. If you put asset, all assets, right, the members which are all assets, it will take out that all those members. Yes, we use this for carry forward of balances, etc., etc., whatever. So first you have to read this, so that you will understand the rule, I mean function. Clear? So at least you have to read once all the functions, okay? Right, so this is called functions. Yes, we regularly use the functions, either VB functions or HFM functions. Next, we use conditional statements. So you want to run a loop, if then else. You want to take any decision, if so and so X, then else, then, right. Likewise, you can use the conditional statements. So in conditional statement, whenever you are using if, right, it should end with end if. This is a syntax error otherwise. So if for example here, in the same, I'll put a condition here. If x is greater than 10, then see, if x greater than 10, then I did not put end if, so it will throw an error message. See, when I run this one, block if without end if, so it will throw an error message. So here end if, now it will work. See, clear? So after every if, there should be then and there should be end if. Clear? Everyone clear? So next point, we have to run loops. Yes, either you can use if then or for next or do until or while when, etc. Normally I use for next because it will be very easy for me. It depends. So whatever you feel easy, right, you can use that one. For I is equal to 1 to 10 means it will run 10 times. Next I, that's it. Syntax. So for next loop is very easy for me. So I regularly use for next only. Next, colors, you can see the colors, right? So here you can see blue, black, and if I put comment, see, that is in green color. When you see green color comment, it will not be executed, okay? Only blue color, all are reserved words. Black color, use defined words. So here red color, you are seeing the red color, right? Red color functions in HFM, you see that red color, you will see after some time, okay? So difference between HFM and VB is the name of the program is fixed in HFM. Now, what are the programs we can write in HFM? Here you can see rules. When you see manage rules, right? See rule types. So you have calculation rule, translation rule, consolidation rule, allocation rule, input, no input, dynamic calculation, transactions, equity pickup, on demand. So out of these rules, right, we don't discuss this equity pickup and allocation rule. We don't need this, okay? Allocation rule we never use. Equity pickup also very rarely we use. Our data will not be supported for equity. Remaining everything we'll learn now, okay? So how do we write the rules? See, creating rule files. See, sub calculate, sub translate, sub allocate, sub input, sub no input, sub consolidate, sub dynamic, sub transactions, sub equity pickup, sub on demand. Right? See, every rule will start with sub and end sub, right? I told you sub transaction, that is fixed. You cannot change that to your own rule name. In HFM, the name of the program is fixed. Clear? Next. So when you troubleshoot it, right? it will throw the error message. For example, here I put it as comment, right? If I run this one, what it is saying, actually here it is not saying, but in error message it will show the line number. So the main thing you have to understand in VB is it will execute line by line. See, when I put normally execute here, see, 1 minute, we'll put this. Now you see, when I execute, it will execute line by line. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. See, likewise, it will execute line by line. So if there is any mistake in this line, right? Until you come this line, it cannot recognize. So the compiler in VB is line by line. Unlike Python or any other thing, Python will read the entire program first and then it will start executing. But VB is not like that. It will execute line by line. Clear? So if you are facing any error in line number 10, it means the problem is in line number 9 or 10. Clear? So see, troubleshooting with line number 10 means either the problem is in either 10 or ninth line. You cannot expect the error in 12th or 13th because it will execute line by line. So there are three types of error. One is syntax. Already we have seen the syntax error, right? We put if and we have forgotten to put end if. It will throw an error message. Logical errors are something you cannot find these errors. For example, you are searching for XXX, but you have given capital XXX. So your logic is wrong. So it won't throw any error message. While loading the program, it will 100% load perfectly because there is no syntax errors. But when you execute the program, it won't show any result. That is called logical error. Program will not stop executing, but it will not give the correct result. Okay. While loading the program, it won't throw any error message because all the syntax is correct, but logic is wrong, right? So when you search for the result, it will show a wrong result or it won't show any result. So that is called logical error. Runtime error means while running the program, when you load the program it will load perfectly, but when you run the program then it will search for the error. That is called runtime error. We will see all the three errors in today and tomorrow. Okay. So when you are creating a rule, first always try to write the program in Notepad plus plus only. First thumb rule. Second thumb rule is you have a HFM rule start plugin. You have to install this one. So when you go to part 2, here I have given you HFM rules.xml. How do I put that one? Here click on language, define your own language, import. You have to import this HFM rules. Part 2 HFM rules. Automatically you will see the HFM rules here. See? So for example, if you calculate to see, if I remove this language as HFM rules, or if I put VB or something, P, Python, see, you don't see this hs.entity.member as red color because all the HFM functions, right, it will show it in red color if you use our HFM rules. See, because they are all rule functions, right? So always install HFM rules plugin and then start writing your rules only in Notepad plus plus. It will be easy to recognize, it will be easy to troubleshoot, etc. Clear? This is called rules basics. So just give me 1 second. Any doubt in rules basics? Please. Please ask some doubts. We'll start creating the rules now. So even though you don't know the VB language also, no need to worry. First by heart the rule. Slowly you will understand the rule. Means after some time, right? After 3 or 4 times practice, you will understand the rule. Okay. Simply in interviews, if they ask you, do you know rules? Say that yes, I can manage rules. Don't say that you are expert in rules. Okay.
This is one-time activity, right? This is one-time activity, and that too, there is a minimum rules we are using in every project.
Sorry, sorry.
This is one time activity, and that too there is a limited rules we are using, sir. How many maximum rules are using in every project? Maximum rules.
When you say maximum rules, you are referring about maximum lines or rules. Rules means
Maximum.
there will be only three or four rules we use: dynamic rule, calculation rule, consolidation rule, no input rule. We never use input rule. We never use allocate rule, and on-demand rule. Yes, we regularly use.
Okay, sir.
So lines, number of lines means starting from one to you will have some 3,000 lines. I have seen 10,000 lines rule file also, very big for Vodafone.
Oh,
Right, you have to write an entire rule file, you have to write. So I'll tell you why do we need to become experts in rule, right? Tomorrow you will understand that. Okay, when you write the calculation rule, then you will understand the importance of means rule. Okay, so are we good in the basics of programming? Shall we start rule? Write down first. No input rule. First we'll start with a very very easy one. No input rule. I am closing this Excel. Yes, yes. So here we will create a grid here, right? In documents, in the metadata grids, I have given you a rules practice grid. You can use that one, or you can use your Excel also. Right, so I am opening rules practice grid. Yes, we'll practice rules with this grid. Okay, somebody has changed the metadata again. Right, okay, just give me 1 second. So go to load application elements, browse metadata, right, part 2, yes, this one, open, clear all metadata, yes, load. Then just log off and log in again. Open the application. Double click on documents. Yes, expand metadata. Right. So, right. No input rule. Write down. 1 minute. 1 minute. So, right. No input rule. Write down. No input rule. It is used. No input rule. It is used to restrict the data entry. No input rule. It is used to restrict the data entry. So why do we need to restrict the data entry? Can anybody tell the business case for this one? Can anybody tell the business case?
for the consolidation, we intend for parents.
No? No? Any example, best example for no input rule?
For calculated accounts.
No, calculator means we'll put calculated. If you put no input, even you cannot enter the data also. Even from rule file also, you cannot enter data. Sir, please mute, sir. Rajkiran. So, what is the example? Inactive entity. Whenever a company, we sold one company, we cannot delete that member from our metadata, right? For example, we got losses for one company. we have sold it to some other company. So yes, it is not our company, but you cannot delete that entity from our my data because it holds past data, correct? So you have to make it as inactive, and then you have to write a no input rule so that nobody when enters the data in that entity. Write down. Example, no input rule. It is used to restrict the data entry. Example is inactive entities. Inactive entities. Syntax. You have to write this syntax now. Syntax. HS dot no input POV. HS dot no input double quotes POV. Okay, see. So this is my HS dot input. I put entity E1000. So here you can see in the grid, right? I can enter data for E1000. See, right? Yes, for everything I can enter data here. But when I load this rule file, what happens? When I load this rule, what happens? It will be in green color now. See, now go to load tasks, load application elements, go to the rules. So here we put practice rules. So no input rule 1, right? Yes. Then open. So when you click on load by load, here you have to always check whether your number of errors are 0 and number of warnings are 0. This one you have to ensure. Clear these two lines. You have to ensure number of errors 0, number of warnings 0. Then now come here and refresh and see. Can I enter data now? No, it will be restricted. You cannot enter data for this particular entity E1000. Clear? But here I have a criteria here. So until 2017, right? It is my company. 2018 January, it is not my company. Then you have to be able to enter data in 2017 January 2017, right? How do you change that one here? The syntax is POV, means point of view. So how do I call my entity E hash? Right? See, if I want to call account, then A hash. If I want to call year, then Y hash. If I want to call period, then P hash. Likewise, yes, you can put the entire POV dot Y hash 2018 dot P hash JAN Jan. See, now it will be restricted. Now come here, again go to rules, again update, browse, no input rule, and then okay, and then load, sorry, load, and then see the log whether 0, 0, correct. Now come here and refresh and see. Done. It means that particular POV means yes, you can put the POV, you can put greater than and less than also. So you can put a if condition. If my year is greater than 2017, then restrict. So it will restrict from 2018 completely. Clear? Everyone, yes or no? Did you understand no input rule? Any doubts in no input rule? Are we clear about no input rule? Please confirm. Everyone. Right. Next, write down. Next rule. Second rule. Input rule. Input rule. First point. We never use this in live. First point. We never use this in live. Not even one time. Trust me. We never use this in live. First point. Second point. It is used. It is used to allow LLOW to allow the data entry. It is used to allow the data entry at parent entity. It is used to allow the data entry at parent entity. So I told you we never use this in live, right? So, but still we have to learn, right? So next is syntax. Just give me one time. Syntax. Write down the syntax. HS dot input POV. HS dot input POV. Syntax. HS dot input POV. So first of all, why do we need to enter the data in parent entity? So when you see this one, parent entity will always be green color, right? You cannot enter data. But here, when you write this input rule, you will be able to enter data in parent entity. See, go to load application elements, click on update, browse input rule. So input rule. So what is the syntax I used here? hs.input e hash asia. Right, come here, click OK, load, click OK. Number of errors 0, number of warnings 0. Yes, come here and refresh and see. Now you will be able to enter the data in Asia also. Literally you can enter, but you cannot consolidate this one. Okay. So 100, see, enter it, submit. Yes, it will be submitted. The same thing in FCCS, allow upper level entity input, right? Even though they have given this option in FCCS, it is not working. But in HFM, yes, it will work. So when you right click here, see what happens? Even though, for example, 2018 January, right? So here we'll put 2018 January as 400, submit. Done. So when you right click and consolidate, that should be consolidated, right? No, it will lose its consolidation power. When you are able to enter the data, see, when you go to rules practice here, when you refresh, nothing happens here. See, still it is 100 only. When you are able to enter data in parent entity, the first thing is it will lose its consolidation power. Okay. So in live, we never use this rule. Not even one time. Trust me. In the entire my entire career, I never used this rule file. Clear? This is called sub input. Very easy. Sub input, sub no input. Both are same syntax. See? No input. HS dot no input POV. HS dot input POV. That's it. So sub inputs and sub. So any doubt in input and sub input? I mean input and no input? Please confirm whether we are okay or not.
Sir, if we given India, is it identified this is not a parent?
India or Asia?
India, sir. If I wrongly entered India, it will identify this is not a parent.
No, it won't identify. If you want, we can write it. E hash E1000. So it refers to only entity, right? So come here, it will be loaded. See, but logic is wrong, right? Logic. This is logical error, right? Okay, load. There will not be any syntax error. See, there will not be any syntax error. Now come here, go to here, refresh and see. See, it did not recognize now, right? See, it did not recognize Asia. I mean, it did not recognize India as parent. So it is a logical error. Clear?
Easily consolidation gets some many errors.
Even when you consolidate also nothing. See, you consolidate all with data. It will be zero now. That 100 will become zero. See?
Okay.
So yes, it won't recognize that. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Next rule. Write down next rule. Sub translate. Sub translate. Write down. It is used. It is used to do the translation. It is used to do the translation at a third rate. At a third rate other than default rates. It is used to do the translation at a third rate other than other than default rates. Okay. Do we use this regularly? Yes or no? Anybody? Do we use this translation rule regularly or not?
No, sir. Rarely.
Regularly. Trust me. Regularly we use this. Okay. In every rule file, you will find this translation rule. Why? So, what is the translation mechanism in HFM? When you open the metadata, when you open the metadata here, when you go to the application settings, see, by default, system will translate at two rates, right? All balance sheet items will be translated at end of the month rate. All income statement items will be translated at average rate. So when you right click and translate, this is the translation rate. So now we'll see, come here, go to documents, metadata, there is a translation rule. See, where is the yeah, translation grid, right? Open this one. So yes, we have three: common stock, bank account, one income statement item, one balance sheet item, and another balance sheet item. So India, we enter some rate. So this is 2017 January, right? Before that, we will enter some exchange rates. Okay. So where is exchange rates forms 2017 January? 2017 January. I enter some rate here. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Hong Kong. 5, 6, 7. Okay. Submit data. Done. Right? Now come to translation grid. Enter some data here. 100, 100. Here also 100. Yes, for Hong Kong also I am entering 100, 100, 100. I submit the data. So I did not tell anything. So when I right click and translate, automatically it will be translated into the given rate. See, right click and translate. It will be translated. So 232. See, because I did not tell anything, I did not write any rule file. Automatically, all the balance sheet items are translated at 2, and all income statement translated 3, because here we have given, see, average rate is 3, end of the month rate is 2. So historical rate it did not recognize, because by default system will take only two rates, right? So now I want particular accounts to be translated at third rate, so I have to write a rule file now. So we'll write this common stock to be translated at historical rate, right? Now come here, go to sub translation. You can write down this syntax translation. You can write down syntax. Write down syntax. HS dot trans destination POV source POV rate 1 rate 2. Destination POV source POV rate 1 rate 2. Write down this syntax. See, this is my account, common stock account, and this is my historical rate. That's it. So destination P source POV and rate 2 we never use, we keep it as blank. Okay, normally we use historical rate. His rate, right? So what is my rate account here? So when you go to your accounts dimension, I have created three accounts here for rates. See, one is end of the month rate, another one is average rate, another one is HIS historical rate. So now we'll load this rule file. Okay, go to load application elements. Yes, go to update, browse, translate. Okay, load and see whether there is any syntax errors or not. See, number of errors 0, number of warnings 0. Clear? Now come here, go to translation grid. So when I right click and translate here, it will be translated at force translate. See, 400, 200, 300, 400. Right click and translate. It will be translated at 500, 600, 700. Correct? So whenever you want to translate some of the accounts at third rate, right, we will write a translation routine. So if you are having 30 or 40 accounts, yes, we will write 30 or 40 lines, or we'll run a loop. We'll recognize all those accounts TR, we'll put a UD called TR. So if HS dot account dot UD1 is equal to 2 or TR, then calculate at this fourth rate. That's it. Historical rate. Automatically, all the accounts will be translated at historical rates. Clear? Sub translation. Everybody understood? Yes or no? Please confirm. అందరికి అర్థమైనట్టేనమ్మా ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ రొటీన్? సుబ్బరాజు గారు ప్లీజ్ ఆస్క్ డౌట్స్. రాజ్ కిరణ్.
సార్ ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేస్తాం సార్ ఇవి అంటే థర్డ్ రూల్ ఫోర్త్ రూల్?
For example, right, all common stock book value, you have to historical rates, right? For example, land, right? Sometimes we always use historical rate. So investment in subsidiaries, common stock, all these, right? We use historical rate only.
అంటే
We
ఇప్పుడు
never use current.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు తెలంగాణలో ఇప్పుడు ల్యాండ్ రేట్స్ పెంచారని చెప్పేసి అన్నారు, ఈ ఇయర్ నుంచి పెంచారని. సో అలాంటి కేసెస్ లో మనం ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ అంటే
No, no. Land rate pension sir, we always show it as book value only. Whatever it will be. So if you purchase the land for only 1,000 rupees and the market value is 1 crore now, still you show the 1,000 rupees only. అది అకౌంటింగ్ స్టాండర్డ్ చెప్పుద్ది. బుక్ వాల్యూ ఆర్ మార్కెట్ వాల్యూ విచ్ ఎవర్ ఇస్ లెస్. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి ఏది వాడాలి?
బుక్ వాల్యూ.
రైట్. సో రైట్, book value or market value whichever is less. So we have to follow accounting as per the accounting standards. Okay.
Sir, syntax చూపించండి సార్ సార్. Show the syntax.
Yes, syntax is yes. Write down this. You have written this syntax, right?
Syntax is case sensitive or case sensitive?
Sorry.
Syntax is case sensitive.
No, not case sensitive. VB is not case sensitive. Only comparing object is case sensitive in VB. For example, you are searching for XXX, right? So you cannot put capital XXX. That comparing object is case sensitive. Remaining everything not case sensitive. Okay. You can use capital or small, whatever your combination of capital and small, whatever you want, you can use. There is no problem at all. So
సార్ దీంట్లోని ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ గివింగ్ వన్ పర్టిక్యులర్ అకౌంట్ ఆర్ ఎంటిటీ, if we need to mention the series of account, then how to write it? Or is it?
I told you, right? Then you have to group those accounts. For example, UD1, you can group those accounts, and here I'll put condition if HS dot UD1
Okay.
is equal to XXX or TR, then you can use this one. Okay. If condition, through if condition, you can always use. Clear?
Okay.
So to use that if condition with the right, here I have given one member list here. You can always refer to that. So desktop list file, member list file here, this one. You can always use this one. See, if hs dot ud dot done is equal to xxx, then right, same concept you have to use. Clear?
Yes.
Right. So next rule, dynamic. Write down hs dot dynamic. Dynamic rule next. Can anybody tell what is dynamic rule and what is the steps for dynamic rule? Please think for 1 minute and then the answer. So I am testing your metadata knowledge now. What is dynamic? Indrajit, are you here in this class? No. ఇంకెవరున్నారమ్మా? Who are Ravi garu? No. Okay. Anybody can tell because they are attending for the interviews, right? Nagalakshmi, Ravi, Indrajit. So I wanted to ask them now. Yeah, anybody can tell what is dynamic rule and how it is activated and how it will work. See, you should not forget metadata attributes. Okay, that is the heart of Hyperion, HFM, heart of HFM. So without by hurting the metadata attributes, never go for interview. Anybody tell Raj Kiran, Subraj garu, what is dynamic?
keep on changes the data set అంటే dynamic అంటే the value it should be every time changes automatically.
No, it is account type. See, when you see the account type is dynamic, right? It is used for all ratio analysis. Write down dynamic. It is used subdynamic. It is used for all ratio analysis. It is used for all ratio analysis. Okay, so first you have to put the account type as dynamic, and then you have to write a subdynamic routine. Write down syntax. Write down syntax. HS dot dynamic. This one. This is the syntax. Line number 12. This is the syntax. Write down. HS dot dynamic destination POV is equal to source POV. Destination POV is equal to source POV. So the main difference between calculation rule and dynamic rule is for calculation rule you have to right click and calculate. But whereas for dynamic rule, right, automatically it will be calculated on the fly. Clear? So I'm loading this rule file. We'll see. Okay, come here. So we have to refer a grid called. I'm closing this grid. I'm closing this exchange rates form. Right. I'm opening dynamic grid here in the metadata grids. I have given you dynamic. Open this. See, it is blank, right? So number of shares, income, I'm keeping it as 500 as my sales. Number of shares as 40. Now, what is my formula? Earnings per share is equal to total net income 500 divided by 40. Right?
Yes,
Enthamma idi?
20,
1125 or something it should come. So we'll write a rule file. Right, come here. This is the rule file. Right? EPS is equal to net profit divided by number of shares. A very simple formula. Sir, please mute, sir. A lot of noise is coming. Rajkaran garu. So, right? And calculation rule, same thing. Destination HS dot expression, destination PV is equal to source PV. Even though these two are same, the difference is for 101, 100, you have to right click and calculate. We'll load this and we'll see. See? Come here, go to load application elements, update, browse sub dynamic. Where is my dynamic routine? Yes. Load. Done. Click on log file and see. Yes, number of errors 0, number of warning 0. Now come here, close this and open it again. See? See? 12.25, right? Did I do anything? Automatically it came. So I'll change this to 400 now. Automatically my formula will activate and it will show 10. See? This one automatically will change. You don't need to right click and consolidate and right click and calculate. For this one bank account, see, when you right click and calculate, then only it will calculate 999. See, that is the difference between calculation routine and dynamic routine. Dynamic routine, it will be calculated on the fly. But whereas calculation routine, you have to right click and consolidate or calculate, then only it will be calculated. Clear? Everybody understood the difference between dynamic rule and calculation rule? Yes or no? So when you see dynamic rule, it means all the ratio analysis, earnings per share, dividends per share, debt equity ratio, current ratio, quick ratio, assets turnover ratio, all the ratios we write in dynamic rule. And in every project we use this. 100%, 100 out of 100 projects we use this dynamic rule. Everyone clear? అందరికి అర్థమైందమ్మా సుబ్బరాజు గారు కిరణ్
సార్
రాజ్
ఒకటి
కిరణ్
క్వశ్చన్, ఇప్పుడు మనం రూల్ ఫైల్ అప్డేట్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా,
ఎస్
like once metadata structure can be with one application, likewise is there any rule like only one member rule needs to be updated,
ఎస్
and
దేర్
in
విల్
the
బి
same
ఓన్లీ
file we would be updating all the rules?
correct. In the same file, we update. See here, for your understanding purpose, I have given one, two, three, all different rules. But in life, there will be single rule file, okay? Single metadata, single security file, single rule file, single member list file. But here, if I put the entire rules in one document, right? You all will be afraid and you won't even touch the rules also. That is the reason to shortcut. So if I say no input rule, you will see the rule and you will say, oh, this is very easy, right? Input rule. This is very easy. So here I'm giving all the rules in all the different rules in different rule files. But in live, all the rules will be in single file. Clear?
Sir, and are we discussing on the FDME load rule also?
No, nothing. FDME rules, all these things, right? FDME load rule we'll discuss, but not scripting. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Jaitan scripting we are not discussing.
okay.
Right. So this is called dynamic rule. Any doubts in dynamic rule? Everybody understood, right? See, at least you have to by heart this syntax, so that in interviews if they ask, right, you'll be able to tell, yes, I know this, I know this. You need not be expert, but yes, right? You can say that I can manage the rules. Right. So how many rules completed? No input rule completed. Input
Four
rule
rules.
completed. Translation rule completed. Dynamic rule completed. Right on next transaction, sub transaction. Next rule is this one. Sub transactions. Right on first point. We never use this in live. Very first point. We never use this in live. Second point. Purpose of this. It is used. It is used to allow the it is used to allow the data entry. It is used to allow the data entry for ICP transactions. For ICP transactions in traditional module only. For ICP transactions in traditional module only. 1 minute, sir. Somebody is calling me. 1 minute. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. వస్తున్నారా సరే సరే సార్ సరే సార్ డన్ సార్ రైట్ సో సి sub transaction. What is this actually? We discussed that, right? In intercompany elimination, there is a module called traditional intercompany module. So we'll go to here. So when you expand this traditional module, manage, here you don't see any transactions, right? See, so we'll load a here, we'll load ICP data and we'll see what is the error message we'll get. So when you go to part 3, when you go to ICP data, there is ICP traditional data. See, ICP traditional data. So 2016 March. Come here. Go to 2016. Go to 2016. Yes. March. See, I don't see any data here. Correct? So I'll minimize this. See, I don't see any transactions here. We'll try to load this file, this data. So 2016 March, right? Come here. When you expand load, here I see transactions, right? Now come here. Browse the file. Where is my file? Come here. Go to part 3. Go to ICP data. ICP traditional data. Load. It will throw an error message. See? Error in load file. See, error in load file. Now when you click on this one, it will say period is not open. Okay, we'll go to the period and we'll open the periods. So here, right, 2016 January, February, March. I'll select all these three and then I'll open the periods. Then see, opened March. Now we'll load the data IC transactions again. Now click on load again. Yes. Now we'll see different error. Cell does not support intercompany transaction. You can see error in load file. Now when you see cell does not support intercompany transaction details. So You cannot load in traditional intercompany data unless and until you load a rule file. So come here, go to rules transaction. See here, whatever the account in the data, I used this account, right? 102 300 212 2000 212,000. See, I have to allow, I have to support that one. So syntax is this one. Write down syntax hs dot support stran pov. Write down hs dot support stran pov. Right? We load this one. Now come here, go to load application elements, click on update, browse sub transaction, click on desktop, practice rules, transaction. Yes, okay. Load. Go to log file and see errors 0 and warning 0. Right? Now come here, load IC transactions. Again, go to manage intercompany. Here I don't see any data, right? Now we'll load the data. Load, yes, update, yes. Now it will be loaded successfully, see, without any errors. Completed. Now see, transaction load successful. Now when you go to the manage intercompany, you can see all the transactions here. Refresh. See, clear. Even for traditional intercompany module also, you have to load the rule file to allow the data entry, to allow the ICP data entry. Then only you can load the data. Everyone clear? So we never use in live because we never use traditional intercompany in live. So we always load normal data along with ICP data. So this module load intercompany transaction module you are seeing here, right? We never touch this in the entire live. Okay. This is called transaction routine. Right? Close this, close this, close this. Now, next one, write down. Sub on demand. Write down sub on demand. It is used. It is used to do the calculations. It is used to do the calculations in a particular data form. It is used to do the calculations in a particular data form only. So here we have to discuss the disadvantages of consolidation and calculation. So when you right click and consolidate, right? Normally when you right click and consolidate, 90% of your server memory will be occupied. Clear? So a huge memory will be taken by consolidation. Even though you have two servers, right? One server will be when you are running the consolidation until the consolidation is completed, right? 90% of the memory will be occupied. Now end user frequently he want to see the calculations. Frequently he is doing the consolidation. It will create a lot of problem. So to avoid this, what they have done is they have created this on-demand rule. On-demand rule, when you right-click and execute, it will be executed only particular form only, not on the entire system. So the burden will not be on the entire system. The burden will be on a particular data form. So that right end user can see his own calculations. He need not worry about consolidation time or system memory, etc. Clear? This particular on-demand rule is introduced in 11.124 version only. In previous versions, you don't see this on-demand rule. Okay. So how do we do this one? There are steps for this on-demand rule. Write down steps. First, create a data form. So come here, go to, is there any documents on-demand rule? On-demand rule, see? I have created a data form here. So edit this data form. Clear? So here I can see on-demand rule. Right? When you click on this one, here you don't see anything. right? So here I am typing it as land, land. What is this land? I am saving this one. Now I have to refer this land in the rule file. Come here, go to practice rule. Where is on demand rule? On demand rule. So this underscore land, right? This is the name of the program. So this on demand underscore is mandatory. On demand underscore is mandatory. Okay, so this is my 101 100 is equal to 777 on demand underscore. Now I'm saving this and I'm loading this rule file. See, load application elements. So click on update, browse. So on demand rule, where is my on demand rule? On demand rule, right? So before that, see, when I click on this here, right? Cancel. When I click on this here, I don't see anything here. See, right? 1 minute. I'll open this one. Now see, yes, right click. Here there is a execute. Right? There is nothing here. It is not showing anything because even though I have given my name as land, I did not upload the on-demand rule. Now, yes, come here, go to load application elements, click on update, browse, on-demand rule, okay, load. Log files is syntax, number of errors 0, number of warnings 0, yes. Now come here, go to the rules, sorry, on-demand rule, right, refresh. Right now, when you right click and when you click on execute, now you can see land. Clear? So what are the steps first you have to follow? First, you have to select the, create the name in data form. Say example land or intercompany elim, whatever, anything, deferred tax, etc., whatever you want to calculate, yes, put some name in the data form. And then
Not be duplicated in the any of the application, right? In this application, it should not be duplicated.
yes, it should not be duplicated. Yes. So see, right click and execute here. See, it will be calculated. Clear? The first step is create a name in data form under on-demand rules. Second step is create a rule file with the name on-demand underscore and a name. See, this is the name, right? Whatever you put, you should not put on-demand underscore, entire on-demand underscore. So after underscore, this is the name. You have to refer. And syntax same as calculation syntax. HS dot expression destination POV is equal to source POV. Simple, very very simple. Okay. So write down the syntax, on demand rule syntax. First step is steps for on demand. First step, create create a name under on demand rules in data form. So where is that one here? When you go to the data form, when you edit the data form, see, it will be in form details. Okay, on demand rules, right? Create a name, example land, under on demand rules in data form details, in data form details. Second point, create a subroutine in rule file, sub on demand underscore given name, sub on demand underscore given name. So this land should be mentioned in this after on demand. Example, on demand underscore land. Write down example, on demand underscore land. Next point, write the hs dot expression rule. Write the hs dot expression rule. Write the hs dot expression rule. Next, you need not write the load rule file, right? Whenever you write a rule, you have to load the rule file. So we'll skip that one. Next, to execute the on-demand rule, To execute the on demand rule, right click on the cell. To execute the on demand rule, right click on the cell and then click on execute and click on execute. Click on execute and click on rule land and click on rule. That's it. So this is how we execute the on-demand rules. Now tell me, can I create another on-demand rule in the same data form? My question
No,
is,
no, sir. No,
why no?
because we given only one specific name. We can't able to give multiple names.
When we edit this one, right, for entire form, there is only one on-demand rule here. See? Now in the entire system, can I create more than one on-demand rule?
Yes, we can create more forms and we can give more rules.
Correct. For write down. Put five star marks and write. Last point. Put 5 star marks and write. For one form, for one data form, we can create one data, one rule, one on-demand rule only. For one data form, we can create one on-demand rule only. See, this same particular question, just some 10 days back or last week, I don't remember. They asked our one of our guy. He told that we can create more than one on-demand rule for one form. He has seen the on-demand rules, right? Here, when I put on-demand rule in the rule file, I can create on-demand land. Again, I'll put here like this, on-demand furniture, etc. So he confused, right? Yes, I can create 100 on-demand rules, but this land can be used only on one particular form. Another form, again, can I use the same land? Yes, this can be used in number of forms, only one time. Everybody understood? For one form you can create only one on demand rule. Is it clear? I have three forms. See, I have three forms. I used furniture one time and land two times. Is it possible? For two forms I use land. Is it possible?
Yes, sir, it's possible.
Yes, it's possible. If you are having five forms, all five forms you use the same on-demand rule, on-demand land. Yes, you can use it for all five forms, but you cannot use both the rules in one form. Clear? Everybody understood the logic? Yes or no? అందరికి అర్థమైందమ్మా?
Yes, sir.
సుబ్బరాజు గారు, yes or no? సుబ్బారావు గారు, అందరూ
Yes, sir.
రైట్? Clear? So this is called on-demand rule. Regularly we use in the system. So how many rules are completed? Calculate, we'll see, translation is completed, input is completed, no input is completed, dynamic is completed, sub transaction is completed, on demand is completed, right? So left with consolidation rule and calculation rule, right? So sub allocate, you can forget this, no need to. But I have given in the rule file, in the practice rules I have given you the allocate rule. This is the allocation rule. You can try if you want, but right, time waste, because we never use in live, not even one time. Clear? So what is calculation rule? So in the notes, right, in the notes, when you see these notes, we discussed until here, but this one I did not discuss. Why? Very, very important point. Actually, this is. So we'll discuss this and then we'll stop. So a calculation rule is very, very simple, right? When you see the calculate, see, when you see calculate here, not this one. Yes, we'll use another one. Calculate. Not this one. We'll write our own calculation rule. Calculate two. Right. So we'll write our own calculation rule. I'm removing everything. Yes, I'm removing here. So hs dot expression 101 100 is equal to 555. That's it. So write down calculation rule. It is used, calculation rule. It is used to do all simple and complex calculations. It is used to do all simple and complex calculations. Syntax hs dot expression destination POV is equal to source POV. So for calculation rule, right? Never use this grid, okay? Close this, close this, close this. So we use Excel. Excel is a little bit irritating because whenever you load a rule file, you have to log off and log in again, but still use Excel only for calculation rule. So come here, go to private connection, click on write, write. So done. We will create ad hoc grid. Done. So I'll put entity dimension here. So here AC underscore 101 100. Yes, I'll put it as E1000. Refresh. Done. What is the problem? POV. Okay, so delete this one and then give the member selection. So go to entity dimension and then E1000. Yes. Refresh. Why? Oh, sorry, this is 10100. That's it. That is creating the problem. Right? Done. You can see 777, right? Now we'll load this syntax and we'll see. So 111 555 555. Okay, right? Save this one. Sub calculate routine, right? So what is the rule file? It is calculate 2. Come here, go to load application elements, update, browse. Right? So where is calculation 2? Yes. Load. And then load. See the syntax error. Whether any syntax errors are there. Number of errors 0, number of warnings 0. We are good. So here, now when I refresh, right, it will throw an error message. So you have loaded the rule file, right? So right click, disconnect, right click, connect again. So when you are practicing rules in Excel, this is the problem. Ad hoc analysis, reuse the right. Now we are good. Now right click, calculate. See, calculate. Done? 555. Now, do you see any problem in this one? Is it easy or not? Yes or no? Andaru Chapalama, everybody please confirm. Is it easy or tough? So now I will ask you a question. Where did the system write this 555? If I ask you this question, what is your answer? Where did the system write this 555? ఈ సిస్టమ్ ఈ 555ని ఎక్కడ రాసింది మీన్స్ ఎక్కడ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసింది వేర్ ఇట్ ద సిస్టమ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్ దిస్ 555
Source system.
ఓన్లీ అకౌంట్ లోనేనా ఐ డిడ్ నాట్ గివ్ ద కంప్లీట్ పిఓవి హియర్ సో వేర్ డిడ్ ఇట్ రైట్ నౌ విల్ సీ ద ఆన్సర్ హియర్ సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ ల్యాప్టాప్స్ కరెక్ట్ నౌ డ్రాగ్ దిస్ ల్యాప్టాప్స్ టు హియర్ down. Now member selection, I'll select all base members. Remove this laptop and then click here and then refresh. ఎక్కడ రాసిందమ్మా అది so it has written in all entire only one account but because you did not mention the other dimension members, whatever the combination is there for this account 101 100, it has written everything. So here put this as E 1200 or 1100. Refresh and see. So right click. So here calculate. When you do the consolidation, it will write to all the entities. Now the same thing, put the FDME here. So right, this one pivot. Sorry, not pivot. Sorry, pivot to POV. Now go to FDM and see here what it has done to this one. Member selection, total C4, all base members. Remove this, refresh. See, everybody understood the problem with calculation rule. This is the reason rules will be given to only expert. If you write, if a normal person or any layman guy, if he writes the rule file, right, when you right click and consolidate, the system will go to an unlimited loop. It will keep on consolidating for 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours also. So now I'll give you a calculation here. So account ACC entity.
సార్ చిన్న డౌట్ అంటే ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ గా డేటా ఉందనుకోండి 100 ఎంతో అది యాడ్ చేసుకుంటారా లేదంటే ఓన్లీ 55 అనేది చేసుకుంటారా?
యాడ్ చేసుకోదు, ఓన్లీ అది తీసుకో ఓవర్ రైట్ చేస్తుంది.
ఓకే.
So here I'll put scenario year period. So view dimension, you need not worry about view dimension. You can ignore view dimension, okay? It won't take into effect. But if you have 10 accounts, 10 entities, 2 ICPs, 10, 10, 10, 10. Value dimension will always be 8. Okay. Now, you know how much, how many cells it will write is equal to 10 into 10 into 2 into 10 into 10 into 10 into 10 into, so it will write these many times. Clear? Everybody understood? So if you don't specify the exact POV, right, it will write these many times. For example, if you are having 90 accounts, then see, if you are having is 4, it will keep on increasing. If you are having some 50 entities, then see. So it should be, you should be very, very careful in writing the calculation rule. Out of entire rules, right, calculation rule is the hero. Even not even consolidation rule. Calculation rule is very, 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 very important. So we will discuss this calculation rule tomorrow, and then we'll go to consolidation rule. Okay. So this particular notes, right here, whatever you are seeing in the here, HFM rules basics here, this you read and you try to understand this and come with doubts tomorrow. So LHS drives means left hand side is hero. So all these are thumb rules you have to follow in calculation rule. Tomorrow, complete 1.5 hour, out of 1.5 hour, at least 1 hour we'll discuss for calculation rule, and then we'll go to consolidation rule. Clear? Yes or no? Done.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు రూల్ ఫైల్స్ లో డేటా కూడా ఇన్పుట్ చేయగలమా?
Yes, you can input the data, but we never do. But we do only calculation based on other accounts. Okay. You want to calculate the depreciation. Yes, you have to take the value of building, and then you have to give the percentage.
అంటే
Depreciation.
అంటే నేను ఏమన్నాడు జనరల్ అడ్జస్ట్మెంట్ చేయగలము, ఈ రూల్ ఫైల్స్ యూజ్ చేసి కూడా అడ్జస్ట్ చేయగలమంటారా?
రూల్ ఫైల్ నుంచి డేటా వస్తుంది కదా, క్యారీ ఫార్వర్డ్ ఆఫ్ బ్యాలెన్సెస్, నెట్ ఇన్కమ్, deferred tax, goodwill, etc. All these calculations we do in rule file only. All complex calculations.
Yes, sir. ఇప్పుడు మీరు అంటే ఎన్ని నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ జరుగుతున్నాయని చెప్పి ఇచ్చారు కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఒక 1 crore ఆఫ్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ జరుగుతుంది. అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ నేను రాంగ్ ఫైల్ ఎంటర్ చేశాను. ఇమీడియట్ గా కన్సల్టేషన్ 2 hours 3 hours పడుతున్నప్పుడు నేను ఫోర్స్ కన్సల్టేషన్ స్టాప్ చేయించేసాను. అంటే కన్సల్టేషన్ ప్రాపర్
Calculation, and you have to fine tune the rule file. So yes, rule file. That is the reason for rules, right? You should be expert, right? So you might be seeing now. If you say that you are expert in rules, then they will separately schedule an interview, and your package will start from minimum. They will give 12 to 18 lakhs package. Okay, highest package for only rules. Clear? ఇప్పుడు కూడా మన పిల్లల్లో కూడా రూల్స్ వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు చాలా తక్కువ మంది అమ్మా. వెరీ 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 రేర్ స్పీసీస్. మీరు ఆల్ బీటెక్ పీపుల్, రైట్, ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ దీస్ రూల్స్ అండ్ ట్రై టు బికమ్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ ఇన్ దీస్ రూల్స్. యువర్ లైఫ్ విల్ బి, వాట్ డూ యూ సే, you will get very very good packages if you are very good in these rules. Trust me. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss calculation rule. Complete almost 45 minutes to 1 hour we'll discuss calculation rule only. So without consolidation rule, yes, still you can have. Without no input rule, you can run the HFM. Without input rule, you can run the HFM. Without translation, you can run the HFM. But without calculation rule, there is no HFM. Clear? Without consolidation rule, how can I run the HFM? Anybody? I want the answer. Without consolidation rule, can I consolidate? Yes or no?
to give formulas, sir.
Yes, because in application settings, right, you can clearly say that I don't want rule file. Consolidation rules, no, means default consolidation will be activated. You don't need to write any rule file for consolidation. But without calculation, you cannot do anything in HFM. Clear? What is the most important rule? Calculation rule is the most important rule. Right, so are we good? Right. So done for the day? Any doubts? Done. Tomorrow we'll continue with calculation rule.